and it's one of my favorites. It's called Elf, a short story of a tall tale. I think most of you might know who this guy is. Let's get started reading the story. It was once upon a Christmas, and Santa Claus had just finished another successful trip around the world, delivering Christmas presents to all the good little boys and girls. All the elves were giddy from the excitement of the big night. They were dancing and singing and making milk toast. Santa raised his glass of milk, proud as could be, and said, "We've had another successful year." When all of a sudden, and quite out of nowhere, the most curious thing happened. Do you know what it is? Maybe. Let's see. A tiny creature crawled out of Santa's big bag. He was the cutest little thing. A laughing and cooing human baby. A human? Thought Santa. You see, what Santa didn't know was that little baby had crawled into his big red sack when he was delivering presents at the orphanage, and the baby was carried all over the world. Oh my goodness, wouldn't a sleigh ride with Santa be amazing? Well, I've been able to do it once in all my years, but wouldn't it be amazing for a human child to take flight with Santa? Wouldn't you like to take a trip like that? You would? I know, it would be pretty amazing. Santa knew that someone needed to care for the baby and asked a very kindly, loving elf. Papa Elf took in the baby and raised him as his very own. Papa Elf called him Buddy, his little buddy. But little Buddy grew up to be big, very big. He grew too big for his pointy shoes and grew too big for his pointy hat. Oh dear, look at that. Look at his shoes and his hat. And grew too big for his pointy house. Poor Buddy. Buddy tried to fit in. Oh, how he tried! But when all the elves etched, Buddy couldn't. His hands were too big for the etcher-sketchers. And when all the elves whittled, Buddy couldn't. His hands were too big for the whittlers. And when all the elves tinkered, Buddy couldn't. His hands were too big for the tinkerers. Poor Buddy. But the elves loved Buddy and his big Christmas spirit. I bet all of you have some great big Christmas spirit too. He had the biggest voice in the choir and always carried the most candy canes. Oh my goodness, candy canes are my favorite. They even loved that he had a 100-mile-per-hour slap shot. Oh dear, you don't want to be in the middle of that one. Well, except for the elves on the opposing team anyways. And they loved that he could reach the very top of the biggest Christmas trees to place the stars on top. The elves all agreed, Buddy sure is special. But Buddy didn't want to be special. He wanted to be like all the other elves. He stared at the elves in Santa's workshop as they etched with their etcher-sketchers, whittled with their whittlers, tinkered with their tinkers, and he just felt plain sad. Poor Buddy. He didn't think that he could ever fit in. He needed some buddy time. See, there he is putting the star on the top of the tallest tree. And there's sad Buddy. So he walked and he walked all through the 7 levels of the candy cane forest. and all through the sea of swirly, twirly gumdrops. He didn't like being different. He wondered, will I ever be like the other elves? And when he finally got back home, cold and shivering, Papa Elf was waiting for him. Papa got Buddy a blanket, gave him a warm glass of milk, and sat him down on his knee. Papa was worried about his little Buddy. "What's wrong, Buddy?" asked his Papa. Buddy shook his head ashamed. "Aw, Papa, I'm not like the other elves. I try and I try, but it's just no good. I'm not an elf at all." "No?" asked his Papa. "No, Buddy looked so ashamed. "I'm different." Papa Elf put his arms around Buddy. Sort of. His arms didn't reach all the way around. "Being different isn't a reason to be sad," said his Papa. "It's not?" asked Buddy. Being different is pretty amazing, isn't it? All of us are unique. "No, everyone is different. That's what makes us all special." "But I don't want to be special. I don't want to be human," Buddy said, standing up and spilling his warm milk. "I want to be just like you. I want to be an elf." I wonder what Papa's going to say next. Papa smiled and said, "But Buddy, you are an elf." Buddy stared at his Papa, wide-eyed. "I am?" "Of course you are, Buddy. You see, you don't have to be small to be an elf. Being an elf is in your heart. It means you sing the loudest, you carry the most candy canes, and you have the greatest slap shot. Being an elf means treating every day like Christmas, just like you." "Wow, so I really am an elf." "Buddy," Papa Elf said, "you're the biggest elf of us all." And so, that Christmas, Buddy sang the loudest, carried the most candy canes, slapped the most slap shots. He loved that Christmas more than ever before. And he put the very biggest star on the top of the biggest, tallest tree, because little Buddy was truly special. He was the biggest elf of them all. Wasn't that a great story, everyone? Oh my goodness, I loved it so much, and I hope all of you guys did too. Well, I just want to say Merry Christmas, and don't forget to stay safe and have fun. Bye, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Read-a-Thon day.